Hey there everyone, what's up and welcome back to another video on Streaming Stars. A lot of us love watching movie bloopers as it gives us a sense of relief that even the horror or melancholic movies had some funny moments behind the scenes. However, there are times when the movie makers make some silly mistakes in epic movies and we can't help but laugh at them wholeheartedly. Let's look at the 10 biggest movie mistakes ever made. But before we do that, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to be notified of more videos in the future. Alright, let's get going. Number 10. Star Wars. Although this movie is known to be one of the greatest ever made, and the battle scene is watched by almost every other person, even those who haven't watched the entire movie. During the famous battle scene between the protagonist Luke and the enemies, Luke knocked off one of the enemies without even touching him. Yep, you heard it right. Luke, the strong and powerful character of Star Wars, kicks his opponent in this scene. But if you look carefully, Luke's kick didn't even connect with his opponent and he was swept off the ground completely. This mistake made the whole battle scene an amusing one for the audience. Number 9. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is known to be the kind of film that can give you goosebumps every time you watch it. However, if you watch it a number of times, you'll also notice some of the shocking mistakes that were made in this incredible movie. T-Rex is the kind of dinosaur that looks so real that you can't help but wonder if dinosaurs actually exist in the real world. Although the whole scene was crafted really well, we noticed a slight mistake in the movie as well. To create a dramatic effect in the movie, they've shown some fake rain that poured over the T-Rex, and we also noticed that the device that scatters water over the T-Rex's head is clearly seen, which makes the whole rain sequence quite the humorous one. Number 8. Everybody's Fine. This movie isn't a successful one, but the mistake seen in the movie is obviously huge, which makes it quite the noticeable film. The main protagonist went to see his girlfriend, and they both went off to the terrace to get some fresh air. The whole scene looked absolutely smooth until we noticed that the two children in the background are sitting still continuously. The director had probably instructed the kids not to move too much, but it looks like they took the instructions way too seriously, as it looked like they were two mannequins placed in the garden while the main characters are talking to each other without noticing the kids. Number 7. Suicide Squad. The characters of this movie got a lot of fame initially, however, the audience noticed a lot of slip-ups throughout the film. We'll just shed light on only one of them in this video, as we don't want to ruin the entire movie for those that haven't seen it. During one of the scenes, the subway station is referred to as the Central Station, as mentioned on one of the signboards placed on the walls of the station. But as the characters moved outside the station, you can see that it is then known as the Baysend Station. This station is an actual station in Canada where the movie was shot, and the makers probably forgot to hide this board. Therefore, the intense scene of the subway station was somewhat ruined due to this little mistake. Number 6. Captain America: Civil War. This highly budgeted superhero movie was also not free from any glitches. The famous airport scene between Captain America and Spider-Man also had a silly mistake. Initially, it was shown that the Spider-Man shield was covered with web, but as the scene proceeded, we can clearly see that the shield is completely clear without a single trace of web on it. These incidents can occur as a result of continuity shots, but one surely expects such blockbusters to be free from minor errors. As a result, the whole audience began to shift their attention from the main protagonist towards the shield. Number 5. Finding Dory. As the trailers of Finding Dory were released, the viewers were desperately waiting for its release as they couldn't wait to see another animated movie from the makers of Finding Nemo. Now you must be wondering, how could an animated movie make any mistakes? Well, the answer is quite simple, and it lies at the hands of the animators and the writers. A whale is seen to be bumping into objects closer to her. This condition is known as nearsightedness in the movie. However, it's actually a case of farsightedness, as when one suffers from nearsightedness, closer objects can be seen with better visibility. The writers and the animators clearly need to do their research. It's clear that the writers needed to do more research about such terms. Number 4. Pirates of the Caribbean. This movie gives us an insight into the life of pirates. 5 movies were made in this successful franchise. Even though the movie was made on a large scale, it's full of some little mistakes. During one of the entry scenes of Jack Sparrow at the Royal Port, Jack Sparrow moved from a sunken boat to the dock in a smooth way, which made the audience love his character from the very first scene. What you might have failed to notice is that he swapped his legs in microseconds, as initially he set his right foot on the boat, and in the next scene we can see that his left foot appears on the dock before the right one. Number 3. Titanic. The most romantic movie of all time, Titanic is well known by all the 90s kids. The scene on the bow was a beautiful one, but one tiny mistake gained all our attention. In the movie, Jack had already been on the bow when he watched the dolphins along with his friend, and the maker showed 2 different bows in both the scenes. The color was a little bit different, and obviously there can't be 2 bows in a single ship. So we believe that the maker should have been a bit more careful while filming such an iconic scene. Number 2. It. This horror movie actually was a hit. See what we did there? No? Sorry. Besides some little mistakes in the detailing part, what we noticed is a slightly bigger one. Bill is peacefully sitting on his empty bed trying to make a ship for his brother. Now in the beginning, the bed is seen to be completely free of any paper. However, as the camera shifts, you can see a crumpled paper next to Bill, and just a moment later, there are 2 crumpled papers right next to Bill. Bill had his hand on his face when he looked at Georgie, and just before he moved his hand away from his face, there was another paper. Although it was a horror movie, we didn't expect to see such random paper appearances. Number 1. The Lord of the Rings. This is the film trilogy that trumps them all. In one of the scenes of the last film, The Return of the King, the elves are busy preparing to visit the west of the sea as it's the beginning of the Age of Man. The characters are bidding goodbye to each other in this long and emotional scene. The viewers initially got emotional in this scene as the characters are crying. However, in the middle of the entire emotional scenario, we notice that Sam's vest, which was present in the initial scene, is now missing. As Sam returned to his home to be with his family after the emotional farewell scene, we can see that the magical vest is somehow back on again. Wow. Although it's clearly known that the whole film isn't based on any paranormal set of events, this sudden appearance and disappearance of Sam's vest surely confused the viewers. Even the most legendary and blockbuster movies are not free from minor errors, and movie lovers notice every single inconsistency. Whether it's the writer's or the actor's mistake, nothing goes unnoticed. Thus, the makers need to be extra careful in today's world. Well, folks, that about wraps up this show. Hope you guys had a blast going through it. If you haven't liked the video yet, don't hesitate to start now. We'll be seeing you in another video real soon. Until then, take care and goodbye.